Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I'm ever so grateful that you have joined me today on another beautifully magical day here in this existence that we are so incredibly just blessed to be a part of. We are really part of an amazing time in the history of the earth itself. And it's like Dolores Cannon would say, the greatest show on earth from the extraterrestrial perspective. And speaking of perspective, I'm going to start today's show with a poem by Valerie Cox called The Cookie Thief. A woman was waiting at an airport one night, with several long hours before her flight. She hunted for a book in the airport shops, bought a bag of cookies, and found a place to drop. She was engrossed in her book, but happened to see that the man sitting beside her, as bold as could be, grabbed a cookie or two from the bag in between, which she tried to ignore to avoid a scene. So she munched the cookies and watched the clock, as the gutsy cookie thief diminished her stock. She was getting more irritated as the minutes ticked by, thinking, if I wasn't so nice, I would blacken his eye. With each cookie she took, he took one too. When only one was left, she wondered what he would do. With a smile on his face and a nervous laugh, he took the last cookie and broke it in half. He offered her half. As he ate the other, she snatched it from him and thought, oh, brother, this guy has some nerve, and he's also rude. Why didn't he even show any gratitude? She had never known when she had been so galled, and sighed with relief when her flight was called. She gathered her belongings and headed to the gate, refusing to look back at the thieving ingrate. She boarded the plane and sank in her seat. Then she sought her book, which was almost complete. As she reached in her baggage, she gasped with surprise. There was her bag of cookies in front of her eyes. If mine are here, she moaned in despair. The others were his, and he tried to share. Too late to apologize, she realized with grief that she was the rude one, the ingrate, the thief. Now that is such a powerful poem, and I'm not sure why I get so emotional when I read it, but I do. It makes me very emotional to read this poem because I realize how much we misunderstand one another. And it's so sad because it doesn't have to be that way. And this is happening so much in our world right now. And if we could think about it like this, if we could just think that maybe I'm not thinking about it from the right perspective. Maybe there's some more information to gain here. And maybe just maybe I have something to learn. In this example, this is a very simple one. But when it comes down to big life issues and circumstances, it's a whole lot harder. And we're seeing that in the world right now. And I think it's a really good reminder for all of us that each and every single one of us has our own perspective. And that perspective is built upon our entire lifetime of experiences. Every single experience that we have had in our lives has ultimately defined who we are. And that depends on how we view our experiences. We're going to have different catalysts that come up, and we're going to react to these experiences in different ways. How we choose to focus our light in that circumstance is what is going to gain further momentum for our perspective. Mercury retrograde, here I go, not being able to say my words. So I'm just going to see what happens and keep going with it. But this is how we gain our perspective in life, by all of the different experiences that we have and how we have viewed it. And there is no way any single one of us has any idea what another one of us has been through in our entire lives experiences, and what has brought us to the point we are in life now, and what has helped us to develop our perspectives. And if we really took a step back and tried to gain more information about that topic, about that person, maybe we would understand it a little bit more. There's no way we can actually put ourselves in another person's shoes, but we can certainly try to understand a little bit and have that open mind to, maybe I just don't understand. Maybe there's more that I can learn. Maybe my perspective could use a lift up. Who knows? And you know what's really cool about that is that can come from anyone, anywhere. And what would be a super folly, and this has happened to me in my life, is to make the judgments based on whatever your perspective is, make the judgments on a person or an entity, a situation, based on what I knew and be closed-minded to it. But when I opened up my mind, I actually learned so much from those things that I was closed off to or that I had judged. These are very interesting teachers. And I believe that if we were able to keep our minds really open and understand that every single one of us has a different perspective, and we're supposed to, that's normal, because we each have a different and unique experience in this life. And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And to come to that understanding, realizing that so many of us here, we're all just trying to do good. We all have really good intentions. I think most of us, the majority of us do, have tremendous intentions for the good of the whole, for society as a whole, for our families and for ourselves. And so most of us are operating from that intention, regardless of what our perspectives may be. And so when we can try to understand a little bit what somebody else may understand from their perspective based on X, Y, or Z, we can learn a whole lot, and in that learning, really open ourselves up to even more advancement, even more evolution. And that is the way that we have to go. We have to start communicating more, being more kind to one another, and having more compassion for one another. Because there is not a single person that exists here that has not had a hard life. Every single person has not had it easy. And yes, there are some that have had it way more difficult than others. And that perspective is a whole different perspective from someone who's had an easier, tough life. Because like I said, none of us get out of here without having hard times. But those perspectives are going to be so different. And wouldn't it be beautiful for those two perspectives to be able to be open to each other's, to learn from one another? And this is how I see us growing and evolving together and becoming stronger as a community of human beings here on Earth. That is what we are doing, and that is what we are going to continue to do. We're going to respond to unkindness with kindness, not with more unkindness. Yes, when things make us angry or upset, we tend to want to respond and to fight back and to defend. But where does that get us? More fighting, more defending, more hamster wheel effect. An eye for an eye continues to be an eye for an eye. And so, instead, when someone is unkind, we turn around and treat them with kindness and compassion. Because the reason why they're being unkind is because somebody has been super unkind to them, and that's their experience, and that's what they see. And so to have a whole lot of compassion for that and to respond with that kindness will help that person so immensely to maybe next time think about it and respond in a little bit more kindness. And the more that person gets more kindness in their life, the more they are going to be more kind. And so we can all help one another by being the change that we want to see in the world. If we want to see more kindness and compassion, then we have to be that ourselves, even when things are so infuriating to us and triggering and just make us so mad. And how could that person think that? And all of these things that are happening now. Well, that person thinks that because it's their perspective. And it's none of your business. It's none of your business what that person's perspective is. Let them have it. If they want to share it with you and you want to have open dialogue and you really want to learn about it, then awesome. That's the way to go. But otherwise, it's none of your business to change it or to judge it or to have any kind of belittling opinion about. It's not nice. We need to be nicer to one another. And I know that we can. We have so much love in us. We have just as much kindness as we have unkindness. We have just as much compassion as we have apathy or heartlessness. We have just as much joy in us as we have anger. And we have just as much love in us as we do in hatred. And so we get to decide which one of these feelings, distortions of light, we want to focus on. We want to hone in on. We want to feed. We get to decide. And the more we decide on that one, the stronger it gets within us. And so instead of being unkind, we can be kind, and we can consciously make that choice to be more kind. And instead of calling somebody out for being unkind, by being unkind, we treat them with kindness instead. It would make the world an entirely different place. You know, the other day I was at the bank, and the guy that worked there, he was walking out behind me, and he was carrying a little container, and I held the door for him, and he said thank you as he was walking over to the bushes, and then explained to me that he was letting a little crawly critter go outside. And I thought that was so sweet because it's not something that you see in the big city where I live, that people understand that life is sacred, that all life is sacred, and that this little creepy crawly bug does not deserve to get crushed under his shoe. He was taken outside by this caring and compassionate human. And I love seeing examples of that in the world. And the more we act like that always, and to each other, respecting each other, honoring each other's perspective. Because think about how long it took for you to gain yours. You've been working on this thing your entire life. The cool thing is, too, it is open to change. Hopefully, you are open to changing your perspective because it is significant. Your perspective will then define how you view the next situation, the next experience, the next catalyst that comes up. The way that you perceive things is the way that you are going to then view that next experience in that significating factor. And every experience thereafter you will view from that viewpoint. So what do you want your viewpoint to be? Do you want it to be love? Do you want it to be fear? Do you want it to be joy? Do you want it to be anger? Which one of those sound good to you? You get to decide because you're the creator. You make it all. And if you notice that wherever your perspective is in your mind, that's also what you're going to then see in your external reality. Just like I got to see that guy taking the bug outside at the bank. That was so beautiful to me. I love seeing examples of humans being amazing because I know that we are. And it lights my heart up. And because I know that we are, and that is my perspective, I get to see it. I get to see it in my daily existence. And I could totally do it the other way around, and I have in my life. And so I get to know the difference. And that's the beautiful thing about contrast. So thank you, contrast, for teaching these amazing lessons. That's another thing that we're learning right now. We have so much contrast that it's providing us such a beautiful opportunity to make these choices. We get to see the contrast in everything, and then we decide what's right for us, what feels good for me, what feels good for the whole. And when we can continue to make these really wonderful choices for ourselves and for the whole, what we will see in the external environment is not so much of a need for the contrast. It's only there because we need it. And that's an important thing to remember. It's necessary right now. This choice is necessary right now. It's necessary because this is the greatest show on earth right now. We are evolving as a planet, and it really is an amazing event to be here for. And so I applaud all of us because it is not an easy job. It is not an easy existence, but we are doing it, and we can choose to do it even better. I know we can. We all are already. I love you all so much. I'm going to leave you with a song for today. This is Wookiefoot, Be the Change. Until next time, love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Shake your fist at the waiting list and still insist this big cruel world has passed you by. Sand moves fast through the hourglass and still another hour passes. You still just sit there getting high.